Good morning and a very warm welcome. You are watching JanataTelevision and this is the English Bulletin with me, Sushant. The top stories first. Government announces budget of Rs 1.47 trillion, gives primary focus on health, agriculture and job market. Government to provide special concession to tourism industry, areas affected by coronavirus to get 5% discount on taxes. Renowned lyricist Ratna Shamser Thapa passed away. Family sources say he succumbed to pneumonia. UN chief warns pandemic may cause historic famine, urges world leaders to take action to avert possible disaster. And shareholders agree to restart Premier League from 17th June. All top clubs begin contact training. And now the news in detail. The government has announced the budget for the new fiscal year with the aim of controlling the spread of the coronavirus and restarting the economy. Although the size of the budget has been considerably reduced, the primary focus has still been given to health, agriculture, job market and production. Finance Minister Yuvraj Khattiwada announced the budget yesterday at a joint meeting of the Federal Parliament with a major focus on restarting the weakened economy. The budget for the current fiscal year was set at 15.32 billion rupees, whereas the new budget will be rupees 14 billion, which is less by 746 million. Minister Khattiwada announced that the government's focus will be in protecting businesses while providing concessions on interest rates. The budget has taken up the values of the ruling party's manifesto while also upholding the policies from the 15th five-year plan. The budget has also taken a bold ambition to attain a 7% economic growth while restricting the inflation at 7% as well. Dr. Khattiwada announced that everyone who consumes electricity up to 10 units will not have to pay for it. Minister Khattiwada also confirmed that the budget is focused on developing the infrastructures while not discontinuing all social allowance currently provided by the government. All previous budgets announced under the current government have fallen short of their goal. Therefore, experts are looking at this year's budget as a yardstick for the success and failure of the current government. Finance Minister Yuvraj Khattiwada has said that the expenses for the security forces and civil servants from state funding will be raised locally and that the government has managed the budget accordingly. In his address to the joint session of the Parliament yesterday, Finance Minister Khattiwada said that the expenses from the state coffers for the uniforms and shoes used by security personnel as well as the civil servants would be made for local products. For that, the government has allocated budget to promote and expand the development of skills required in small to medium scale industries. He further added that local textile and yarn industries will be encouraged for the production of local goods. The government will be providing special concession in taxes to uplift the tourism sector hit hard by COVID-19 and the lockdown. Delivering the budget for the fiscal year 2020-2021, Minister for Finance Yuvraj Khattiwada announced up to 5% reduction in various taxes for the tourism sector.
कोरोना संक्रमण जोखिमको कारण विश्वव्यापी रूपमा आवागमन बन्द भई पर्यटन क्षेत्रमा परेको नकारात्मक प्रभावलाई मध्यनजर राखी हवाई सेवा, होटल, ट्राभल, रेस्टुरेन्ट, ट्रेकिङ, पर्वतारोहण लगायतका सेवा क्षेत्रको पुनरुत्थान गर्न कर, शुल्क, ब्याज लगायतका सुविधाको व्यवस्था गरिनेछ।
The process of establishing a university dedicated to tourism study will be taken forward and such university will come into existence by the next year, Minister Khattiwada added. The budget has also incorporated setting up of hill stations in Rara and other tourist areas for the development of tourism sector. The budget has also encouraged the civil servants to travel far across the country to revitalize the country's tourism industry.
पर्यटन क्षेत्रमा अध्ययन र अनुसन्धान गर्न मानित पर्यटन विश्वविद्यालय स्थापनाका लागि सम्भाव्यता अध्ययन गरिनेछ। माध्यमिक तहभन्दा माथिको पाठ्यक्रममा पर्यटन विषय समावेश गरिनेछ।
Concession have also been provided to Nepal Airlines Corporation in their aviation parking and fuel taxes. Similarly, the budget has also announced the advances in national and international airport for the expansion of air services.
पशुपति, जनकपुर र मुक्तिनाथ सहित अन्य मठ मन्दिर, गुम्बा तथा चुचुरा नदी ताल र कुण्ड लगायतका धार्मिक तथा पर्यटकीय क्षेत्र विकास कार्यक्रमलाई निरन्तरता दिइनेछ।
The budget also targets to attract tourists by protecting and promoting World Heritage sites enlisted in Nepal such as Lumbini and Janakpur. This is Janata Bulletin. We'll be right back after a short break. Welcome back. After the break, we continue with other national news. The government has confirmed 156 new cases of coronavirus, taking the tally to more than 1,000 across the country. According to the Ministry of Health and Population, the total number of confirmed cases has reached 1,042 in Nepal as of yesterday evening. The ministry made such revelation during a regular press meet. The ministry said that 29 new cases were confirmed in Dhanusha, followed by 25 in Jhapa, 20 in Rautahar, 17 in Mahotari, 14 in Saptari, 13 in Shurkhet, 8 in Dailek, 7 in Sarlahi and 6 in Siraha. Likewise, Bardia and Syangja reported 3 cases each, while 2 new cases were confirmed in Kailali, Dolakha districts. Similarly, Darchula, Nawalpur, Makwanpur, Bake, Solakhumbu, Bajang each reported 1 new case yesterday.
अपडेट को 156 जनाको थप नयाँ संक्रमण पहिचान भएको छ व्यक्तिहरुमा र कुल संक्रमितको संख्या 1042 पुगेको छ, जसमध्ये पुरुष 940 जना र महिला 102 जना हुनुहुन्छ।
So far, coronavirus has claimed 5 lives in the country, the ministry said. According to the ministry, a 56-year-old man from Bungmati in Lalitpur district was the latest victim of the disease. He died while undergoing treatment at KIST hospital on Wednesday.
19 पोजिटिभ भएका एकजना व्यक्तिको मृत्यु भएको छ। उहाँ अब यो संक्रमण पुष्टि भएका व्यक्तिहरुमध्ये मृत्यु हुनेको संख्या 5 पुगेको छ। उहाँसँगै उहाँ ललितपुर महानगरपालिका बुङमती 22 का 56 वर्षीय पुरुष हुनुहुन्छ।
Meanwhile, 4 persons in Udaipur have returned home after recovery. With this, the total number of persons who have recovered from the disease has reached 187.
गरी पछिल्लो तथ्याङ्क अनुसार निको भई घर फर्किनेहरू 4 जना हुनुहुन्छ, जो निजो नारायणी अस्पतालबाट कुल डिस्चार्ज हुने संख्या 187 मध्ये पुरुषहरू 144 जना र महिला 43 जना हुनुहुन्छ।
Health authorities have conducted 60,696 tests through PCR method as of yesterday, while the number of screenings through RDT method stands at 102,034. The government has kept 86,057 persons in quarantine across the country. Renowned lyricist Ratna Samsher Thapa passed away yesterday at the age of 81. According to family sources, Thapa was suffering from pneumonia. He died while undergoing treatment in hospital yesterday afternoon. Thapa was rushed to hospital after he complained of breathing problems a day ago. Born to an affluent family in the capital in 1996 BS, Thapa penned some of the famous songs in the history of Nepali literature, making him immortal among the artists of the country. He is survived by his wife and 2 sons. And now the news from the economic front. Airlines Operator Association of Nepal has demanded the government to slash the aviation fuel price. The association has demanded that the government slash the price to 10 rupees per litre and sell at minimum profit. The association has said the decrease in price of the aviation fuel will not only help the airlines operate their business smoothly, but will also benefit the customers and reduce the price of the flight ticket. The association has reiterated that the current fluctuations in the aviation fuel price have caused major problems for the airlines companies to operate even at break-even point. According to the association, fuel expense is almost 35 to 40% of the operation cost of the airline companies. Time for a short break here at Janata Bulletin. Stay tuned for international news. Welcome back, and now the international news. The UN chief on Thursday warned the largest gathering of world leaders since the coronavirus pandemic began that it will cause unimaginable devastation and suffering around the world. He said that there will be historic levels of hunger and famine, and up to 1.6 billion people will be unable to earn a living unless action is taken now, AP reported. According to the news agency, Secretary General Antonio Guterres also told the high-level meeting on measures to help low and middle-income countries cope with fallout from the crisis. Unless action is taken, it could lead to a loss of 8.5 trillion in global output, the sharpest contraction since the Great Depression of the 1930s. He called for immediate collective action in 6 critical areas. They include enhancing global financial liquidity, providing debt relief, engaging private creditors, promoting external finance, plugging leaks in tax evasion, money laundering and corruption, and adopting a recovery that tackles inequalities, injustices and climate change. Nearly 50 world leaders spoke by video at the event along with economic experts, including the heads of the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank. But there were noticeable absences, among them the leaders of the world's 2 largest economies, the United States and China, which are engaged in escalating tensions over the pandemic and other issues, and Russia. As if the coronavirus wasn't enough, India grappled with scorching temperatures and the worst locust invasion in decades. According to AP, government authorities prepared for the end of a months-long lockdown despite recording thousands of new infections every day. This triple disaster drew biblical comparisons and forced officials to try to balance the competing demands of simultaneous public health crisis, protection from the heat, but also social distancing in newly reopened parks and markets. The heat wave threatens to compound challenges of containing the virus, which has started spreading more quickly and broadly since the government began easing restrictions of one of the world's most stringent lockdowns earlier this month. Temperatures soared to 46.6 degrees Celsius in the capital New Delhi this week, marking the warmest May day in 18 years, and 50 degrees centigrade in the desert state of Rajasthan. India suffers from severe water shortages and tens of millions lack running water and air conditioning, leaving many to seek relief under shady trees in public parks. At the same time, swarms of desert locusts have devastated crops in India's heartland, threatening an already vulnerable region that is struggling with the economic cost of the lockdown. You are watching Janata Bulletin, and now the latest from the world of sports. The Premier League stakeholders yesterday agreed to a new provisional restart date of the 2019-20 season of Wednesday, 17th June, provided that all safety requirements are in place. The shareholders also approved a proposal that would see all 92 remaining matches broadcast live in the UK by the league's existing broadcast partners. With social distancing rules in place, no fans in the stadium, and the possibility of being able to make 5 substitutions, the Premier League 2019-20 campaign is set for conclusion. Liverpool is well set to win their first top-flight title in 30 years, but the competitions for the 4th place are still very much alive. The coveted 4th place is currently occupied by Chelsea, but Manchester United, Wolves, Tottenham and Arsenal will fight for their chances. The battle at the bottom is also set for a tantalizing conclusion, as 5 teams are separated by just 4 points, while Norwich City, who are rock bottom and 4 points behind the pack, also have the opportunity to bounce back. On Wednesday, all clubs had unanimously voted to resume contact training, as only 12 players were tested positive after 2,752 tests. We are at the end of Janata Bulletin, and the headlines once again. Government announces budget of Rs 1.47 trillion, gives primary focus on health, agriculture and job market. Government to provide special concession to tourism industry, areas affected by coronavirus to get 5% discount on taxes. Renowned lyricist Ratna Samser Thapa passed away. Family sources say he succumbed to pneumonia. UN chief warns pandemic may cause historic famine, urges world leaders to take action to avert possible disaster. And shareholders agree to restart Premier League from 17th June. All top clubs begin contact training. And that's all from the English News Desk for today. You can follow Janata Television and our programs on various social media platforms, including on our website janatasamachar.com. We urge all our viewers to follow government directive of the lockdown and follow healthy, hygienic practices to keep safe from any infection. Keep watching Janata Television. Namaste.